everyone, and especially GTA fans. It's time for, you guessed it, another GTA clone. And this time it's out in the Old West we go. So strap on your cowboy hats and get your old revolvers ready, because this is Red Dead Redemption. So, how good is Red Dead Redemption, may you ask? Let's take a look. Well, this doesn't look too bad. Looks like a pretty awesome cutscene. You're on the train, and, well, it's kind of a long intro, but it introduces the character pretty well after a while of the long cutscene on the train, the talking. Yeah, you could skip through all this stuff, but it's pretty interesting to find out that you play as the character John Marston, who's an outlaw but also wants to protect the Old West. Yeah, he's your typical gunslinger right there, no comments. So yes, you meet a lot of characters and crazy ones, and this chick that I swear cannot shut the hell up. I have nothing against this chick, but really, she just never shuts the hell up. She seems like a real tomboy to me, honestly. So yes, you do missions, you got the regular map screen, and this is where the GTA clone stuff comes in, right here. The same map screen, the guns, the targeting system, but your main vehicle is the horse. And yes, the horse and carriage as well. But mainly the horse, because not that I don't like the horse and wagon, but it gets to be a real hassle to control sometimes. So I just stick to the main individual horse. But you gotta remember though, unlike GTA where in a vehicle, of course, you could speed up as fast as you want, with the horse, you can't push it past its limit, because eventually if you push it past its limit, you'll get thrown off. You gotta take care of the thing too, and if it gets shot, it can actually die. But what's really cool feature is, say you're in the middle of nowhere with nobody around you, just press the up button to whistle, and look at that, the horse just comes out of nowhere. Yeah, your horse. I mean, what a great animal. I mean, he's got the greatest ears in the world. Damn. Say I'm 1,000 miles away in the Asian desert. A whistle? Will the horse come that far away? I mean, geez. He's got the greatest ears in the world. I mean, screw dogs and cats. Horses are what the animals you want. I mean, I think I'm going to get myself a horse because they got the greatest ears. I mean, look at that. How did it know it was all the way out here? I think I'm going to get myself a horse. They got great ears. No, that's not what I meant. I was being sarcastic. Go home. Anyway, the horse is your main vehicle in the game. And yes, you could steal a horse by throwing somebody off of it and taking it, as well as a horse and wagon. Unfortunately, you can't steal trains. You can hop on them as a passenger, but you can't steal them. You can try, but it doesn't work. You can also ride in the horse and wagon, which is sort of like a taxi cab ride, sort of like in Grand Theft Auto 4. Although there are missions in the game where you actually can try to steal a train, get on the thing, but you don't drive it though. You're either using a gun or protecting the train. Although there's one mission which I have to admit is really cool, where you actually try to catch the train after shooting a bunch of people that stole it and try to stop it just before it hits the edge of a cliff. Wow, that's insane. And yes, because the game takes place in 1911, there are cars, but not like what we have today, like in Grand Theft Auto. No, you get these old-fashioned old piece of shit cars like they had over 100 years ago. You don't get to drive them. I tried it in this one mission where you just ride in it as a passenger. You can try stealing it, but it doesn't work. Their main missions are basically, you start out, well, they're not as interesting until you get further on into the game. You start out by riding the horses, getting to know the town from up and down, the general store. But unlike Grand Theft Auto where you can commit crimes and easily get away with it, in this game, if you commit a crime like theft or murder, for say, you end up being wanted by the sheriff. But it's sort of like GTA 4 where it has that circle thing on the map. A lot more like GTA 4 than the older GTA games. You have to, of course, escape the circle, stay out of the circle until the red on the word wanted goes away, and that's how you can tell you're free. But it doesn't mean you're not on the wanted list. No, you can go back into town and simply pay off the bail in the police station, and you're free to go. But as much of a criminal as John Marston can really be, of course he's going to bring out his inner sympathetic soft side. Yep, like of course catching criminals and shooting them as far out in the desert as possible. Or saving animals out of a barn fire. Yeah, smack that horse in the ass. Smack him. That's how you're going to get his attention. You, of course, do night watchman jobs, get the dog and sniff for burglars. You can kill them or just hog-tie them. Yeah, of course you're in the Old West. Of course you're going to end up hog-tying these people. Or you can just go crazy and shoot everybody. And he even picks flowers. Aw, isn't that nice? Aww. Enough of that. Let's get to the badass version of John Marston. Yeah, you know the badass version of John Marston. He's an outlaw. Of course he sides with the sheriffs and the criminals. And he'll even go out of his way to shoot some asshole trying to rape some woman or do something to her. But nothing beats shooting a guy and getting the woman by your side. That's awesome. And yes, you can pull off the #1 biggest Western movie cliche of all time, tying a damsel in distress up and putting her on railroad tracks and letting the train there. Only this time there's no police trying to riding on a horse to come and rescue her. Yep, she literally goes splat. Yes, you can go to the card tables, do five-finger fillet, and yes, horseshoes as well. I'm not really too crazy about the horseshoes. Mostly into the card tables, because isn't that what a Western game should be like? And yes, just like Grand Theft Auto 4, you can get drinks after drinks after drinks, and eventually get so drunk that you can't even get up. You just keep falling down. And you even get the Western-style gunfights. How do you do it? Well, it happens when you progress during the game, as a side mission mostly, during a regular mission, or it happens when you cheat on poker. The trick is with these gunfights is you gotta be quick, sharp, and clever, and you gotta know how to do it right. If you don't know how to do it right and you don't know how to do it quick enough, you are down. It's just like the good, the bad, and the ugly. Only the quickest survive. Now, as for the main missions of the game, oh boy, there are a lot of them. As I mentioned before, yes, the game does start out a little bit slow, getting to know the town, the characters. There are a lot of characters. Yeah, there are some boring missions like shooting animals that are trying to take over your garden, or hog-tying the horses. It can get a little annoying, but if you know how to do it, it's not too hard. Yeah, herding cattle, all that nonsense. When you get to the missions with all the shooting, it's kick-ass fun. Most of the missions contain mostly shooting, going somewhere and shooting your enemies, or there's time missions, and there's even horse races, whether you're on a horse by itself or even driving a horse and a wagon. Either way, you gotta finish first. I did mention before there's the train missions, the car mission, and you can even get on a raft too. Yeah, it's not like what they have today. No, it's just a raft like you see in any of the Western movies that you take across a long stretch of river. There's even this one mission where you use a Gatling gun and try to take down a whole village. Damn, I love this gun. It just sucks that once the mission's over, you don't get it again. Not until you're back on that train mission. And now I'm sure you're curious to what kind of weapons you have, right? Now remember, it's the Old West, so it's not like you're going to expect to see bazookas or machine guns or sniper rifles like they have today. What do you get? Well, you get, say, revolvers, double barrels, shotguns, the kind of stuff you expect to see in the Old West. And now, are you ready for the moment of truth? The one question I always ask for every GTA-style game. Can you swim? Let's find out. Drum roll. Are you being serious? The game came out in 2010, right? After GTA 4? I mean, GTA 4 and San Andreas, those were made before this game, right? And you can't swim. The guy has enough balls to pull a gun on anyone, but he can't freaking swim? Well, I mean, not that it's really the most necessary feature in the game. It's not like you're really going to use it, but seriously, why not? Anyway, I think you all got the idea of the game, that it's the basic GTA style with the same map screen, missions are similar. But I wanted to get into a little bit more into detail of what my favorite mission is, the most disturbing ones, and I think the most craziest characters are.
Like for starters, yes, the craziest character has to be Seth. What does he do? Well, he's a crazy redneck who has a sick obsession with money and actually goes as far to dig up graves for treasure. I'm not kidding. You do a bunch of missions for him. Nothing much to say, but he's probably the craziest person in this game, I have to say, without a doubt.
But the one mission I find disturbing is where you catch these outlaws that turn out to be cannibals. Yeah. They run a slaughterhouse inside of a barn. That's pretty sick. But my most favorite mission in this game has to be when you go through the mines. You shoot everyone that gets in your way, you take the mine car, put the explosives in it, and then you ride on out like a wild ride. Sort of reminds me of Donkey Kong Country, but a lot cooler. Sweet. So, with impressive graphics, great sound effects, great dialogue, awesome music, I would say this game is definitely a must-have for GTA fans. Be aware, you may not like it. I mean, this is not exactly a game for everybody. If you're a fan of Western-type games, well, consider this a game you do not want to turn down. But for GTA fans that just like GTA, well, I don't care, really. I don't care what anybody has to say about this game. I don't care about any of the shit talk this game has got. This game is one of my favorites, for sure. Yeah. I'm well aware, of course, there's also Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare expansion pack, which I, of course, played last Halloween, but, well, there's only so much I can do. That's going to have to wait for another time. Possibly this Halloween. Who knows? So, my opinion, this game is deserving of a well-deserving Rockin' to Your Remotes with Wii Motion Plus is up. It's that good. So, till next time, happy gaming, partner.